welcome back to Nick Lenz's movie review, episode number 147. Like I mentioned in the last episode, I'm discussing this movie, Spider-Man 3, released in 2007. I was 19 when this movie was released. Now, this movie is not very well liked by a lot of people, for good reason. Yes. Also, up until Spider-Man Far From Home, this film was the highest grossing film of the entire Spider-Man film series. This film. The film that nobody likes. Well, there's a good reason for it. This movie has a few new characters basically joining in. Plus, there's a story retcon. A retcon that was completely unnecessary. Okay, they have Topher Grace as Eddie Brock / Venom. We have William Hayden Church as Frank Marco, aka the Sandman. Let's see, was there any new characters that those do? No, not really. We also have Harry Osborn becoming the new Goblin. Though his Goblin is quite bizarre, to say the least. Like his outfit is like his father's, except that he has a retractable mask, which that's new. And instead of having the glider that he had, now here's the thing. When Harry became the Green Goblin in the comic books, he pretty much wore the same costume his father wore, and even flew on the same glider. In the movie, he acts like the Silver Surfer. Surfing on a surfboard and attacking Peter when he's on his way to go propose to Mary Jane Watson. Yep. As the case of Flint Marko, he escapes from prison, ends up at a testing facility inside of a tank, and he ends up getting exposed to whatever radiation is in there, and that transforms him into the Sandman. This is pretty much almost accurate to how the comic backstory of how he got his powers was. Heck, he even wears the same outfit, the same, like, yellow and green plaid shirt and the khaki pants. I at least appreciate, though, they actually got his costume right, which, kudos for that. In the case, they also had one other new character in here. Gwen Stacy. Yep, this movie has the first live-action version of Gwen Stacy, played by Bryce Dallas Howard. And here's a little factoid, my friends and I know about it. People tend to forget her father is Ron Howard, the acclaimed movie director and retired actor. Yep, Bryce Dallas Howard is his daughter. Now, she's a blonde in here. This way, a lot of times she appears in movies. I think she's normally like a red-haired or brunette, but this movie she's a blonde because she's like Gwen Stacy. Plus, we decided to have a scene that rips off the first movie by having Peter hang upside down in the Spider-Man suit and make out with Gwen Stacy. Also, he basically hangs out with Gwen just to make Mary Jane jealous. Now, I'm not really sure why in the world they brought her in here. I mean, she basically makes no sense, especially since Peter had never really dated her prior to this movie. Though, at least Amazing Spider-Man kind of fixed that. Yep. Also, we have, now the thing with Topher Grace, like, wow, they really screw the pooch on the casting choice. Now, nothing against Topher Grace. The guy is a not bad of an actor. Except that he was the wrong choice to be Venom. Why? He's too freaking skinny. Because the thing with Eddie Brock is he's known for being big and bulky. That is Eddie Brock. Not the twig that's being a carbon copy of Tobey Maguire. Yeah, for no reason. Here's the thing. He left that 70s show to do this movie. Yeah, he's one of like two actors I can think of who left a TV show just to do a movie. The other one was Michael Rourke, who left Walking Dead after 2 seasons in order to do the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. At least those movies are awesome. This movie, well, we also have George Stacy in here. Yes, played by the actor from the Pig movies. James Cromwell. Yep, he's in here too. And, well, I like the fact they cast a guy who looks like an old man, which that's traditionally how George Stacy's portrayed. First of 2 actors to play George Stacy. They have a recasting in the next movie. Oh yeah, and also here in this movie, we have it where Eddie Brock is dating Gwen Stacy. Even though prior to this movie, these two never met before. At all. Because by the time the comic version of Venom showed up in the comic books, Gwen Stacy had been dead at that point for a little over 10 years. Now, they have met before in the Ultimate Universe. Yep, they have. Did they ever date? No. that was made for the movie. And oh boy, now how does the Venom symbiote get to Earth, per se? Now in the comic books, in the original classic origin story, Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, he brings Earth as part of his new costume. In the alternate verse, it was created as a cure for cancer. So, what version did they use for the movie? They used the version from the animated series of the 1990s, where it arrived to Earth via a meteorite. Like, really? That's what came to Earth? Okay, so once again we rip off the TV show again. Yeah, second movie in the row that rips off the TV. They basically take something from the animated series for the movies. The last movie basically took the knowledge of Peter knowing Dr. Octopus became Dr. Octopus in the movie. Here it's basically how Venom symbiote gets to Earth. And he just attached it to Peter. Peter still got his motorcycle in here. Somebody still has it. His relationship with Mary Jane is going really well. Oh yeah, and she's a Broadway stage actress. Now here's the thing I don't get for this movie. Now I've been to a Broadway stage play prior to this movie release. And they actually have microphones on the damn stage. Here in the movie, apparently, no microphones. I'm like, really? That's probably been the standard for basically anybody who's doing plays, like, especially on Broadway. Yes, I have been to Broadway. I actually saw Phantom of the Opera for the first time. This was basically back in, like, I think it was like around 2000, 2001 I saw it. I think it was on 2000 when I say it. My aunt got tickets for myself, my parents, my brother, and my other aunt. And tickets for Broadway are expensive. And here's a fun little factoid. My parents actually were near the set of this very movie. Yes. They actually visited the set. They didn't mean the actors per se, but they were actually near the set. Yeah, they actually saw the set. They actually saw this movie being shot when we were in New York like 14 years ago. Yeah, I'm not kidding about that. That's indeed true for me. Yeah, too bad I couldn't see it. I would have loved to see this movie being made. And probably would have told, if I get a chance to ask Sam Raimi, like, Sam, why did you cast somebody who's freaking thin to be Eddie Brock? Yeah, and also this movie does get a lot of flack for the very limited screen time of Venom. Yeah. And what is the retcon this movie did? Oh boy, this is a retcon that was completely unnecessary. I'll get to the Venom thing in a minute. Okay, the retcon is this. In this movie, it's revealed it wasn't Dennis, the blonde guy from the first movie who killed Ben Parker, but Frank Marco. I'm like, really? Why the heck would you retcon that? Yeah, that was stupid. And, yeah, Venom's got limited screen time. Yeah, in case you're curious if this does happen. Yeah. By the way, guess how much screen time you get for Venom in this movie? 45 minutes. And that's the one thing people tend to complain about this movie. You know the other thing people complain about? When Peter is host of the Venom symbiote, he decided we have the emo Peter dance. Oh boy, this stupid thing. Like, he puts on a suit, dances, claps, dances with Gwen Stacy right in front of Mary Jane Watson just to make her jealous. And I'm like, really? Okay, I at least appreciated, though, they actually got this scene right from the comics. Yeah, when Peter loses the symbiote. Yeah, he's at a church ringing bells. Yeah, this is pulled directly from Web of Spider-Man #1. Yes. From that very first issue. And the next part is actually from the backstory explained in Amazing Summer 300 of how Eddie Brock got the symbiote. Yes, this is basically adaptation of that as well, which kudos, where he was actually in the church and he really wanted to kill Peter, and here comes Venom symbiote right on top of him. Which that is actually pretty accurate to the comic books. Oh yeah, and here's something I did. Now, people think, aside from the criticism, basically the limited screen time Venom gets movie, my biggest criticism is that we don't get a chance to hear Eddie Brock speak with the Venom mouth. Nope, it's like every time he speaks the mouth, He has to remove his mask in order to frickin' speak. Now here's the thing. Peter, in this movie, even the previous movies, can talk perfectly fine with his mask on. The Green Goblin, he can talk perfectly fine with his mask on. But yet Venom can't for some stupid reason. Oh yeah, there's a funny line prior to Eddie Brock getting the Venom symbiote, where he talks to George, he's like, hi, like, he was like, taking a picture, like, oh look, it's Gwen. And then he tells her father, like, by the way, I'm all dating your daughter. He's like, what? And nothing followed up on that line. I would have thought, though, that George would be like, why are you dating my daughter for? Or something like that. But nope, you get no follow-up to that. Oh, just a blank stare. Okay. Now after Peter defeats New Goblin out of costume, he then basically asks, well, Harry Osborn for help. Because, once again, for the movie in a row, Mary Jane's been kidnapped by Venom and the Sandman. Yeah, Sandman decided to team up with Venom, despite the fact these two have, prior to this, not really much interact with each other in the comics. As a matter of fact, these two have never formed a team in the comics. No, not really. I mean, you probably think, what about the Sinister Six? Well, Sandman was fighting the Sinister Six because he had nothing he wanted to do with it. We had the Revenge Sinister Six storyline from the 90s. Now, here's something interesting, though, about Venom himself. Sam Raimi did not want him in the movie. Nope. He had no interest in putting Venom in the movie. I mean, he wanted Sandman. That was indeed true. But he basically was forced to put Venom in the movie by Sony. Because apparently it was done by a fan the man. Somehow it's not thoroughly explained. Yeah. So, and the way they get rid of the symbiote is like, oh, Peter rips it from Eddie, throws pumpkin upon it, and apparently Eddie is obsessed with the damn thing, so apparently he dies. And apparently Peter forgives Sandman for killing Ben Parker, even though this is a complete unnecessary retcon. And, yeah. We get to movie the whole series. Give the movie a 7.5 out of 10. I mean, there's some good stuff in here. I mean, the chemistry between all the actors is fantastic. The special effects still hold up really well. Let's see. What else? The fight scenes are interesting. Yes. The emo Peter thing is basically kind of dumb. The limited screen time for Venom, the retcon of Sandman's backstory is completely unnecessary. I mean, those are some bad things, but this is just not that good a movie. I mean, it's not as terrible as like Blade Trinity, but it's still kind of bad. But what a way to close the Sam Raimi trilogy with this piece of garbage. Yep. Yeah. But at least Topher Grace was basically not high on weed. That's what Grace said, Topher Maguire. Now, briefly talk about Spider-Man 4. Yes, there was plans for Spider-Man 4. The thing was, Sam Raimi had no interest in doing it because Sony basically liked how the movie was doing. He didn't want to greenlight the movie right away. Sam Raimi basically wasn't ready to do it. Neither was Topher Maguire. So they politely passed the movie. Now, what was originally planned for this movie was that we're going to feature the first live-action experience of Vulture. We're also going to have Kirk Carter turn the Lizard. And we're going to have Black Cat in the movie. Except Black Cat was going to be the Vulture's daughter. Now, they did use elements of the script for Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Far From Home. Well, the aspect of Vulture having a daughter. That actually, Vulture himself was used for the Homecoming movie. Yeah. And also, the Topher Grace Venom was going to get his own spin-off movie. Yes, he was going to get his own spin-off movie. I'm sure that a lot of people are like, no, we would like a Venom movie, but not him. Nope, he sucked as Venom. Well, good thing we got one 11 years later. I will discuss that in episode 151. I think it's 151, right? All right, this is 148. Excuse me about that. Yeah. So yeah, 151. So the very next episode, we'll be discussing the first film of the Mark Webb doxology, because there'll be 2 movies of this, for good reason, because of what happened with Music Experiment 2. Yep. But yeah, that's particularly it for this particular review. So I do my other reviews today, which I'm hoping to do a movie review, and case closed. Yep. I may do probably about a few more movie reviews today, because aside from case closed, I got nothing really else planned for today. So I'll do a few more movie reviews today, okay? Do this video. Bye.